What is up, Fight Fam? This is Blueberry, and this is Fighter Focus, and I will be giving you my predictions of UFC 244. So I'm going to start off with the Johnny Walker versus Corey Anderson fight. I'm just going to start off by saying I'm extremely excited for this fight, and this breakdown is going to be a quick one, just like I feel like the fight's going to be. Walker's coming off a nasty flying knee KO in the first round against Cernoff. His feints, movements, his explosiveness are like some of his best attributes. Pretty much anybody that he's been with as of late, he's destroyed in a matter of a couple minutes. I really think that he's a real deal. He's a threat to anyone he fights. I don't see Corey Anderson being able to stop him. I'm curious how Anderson's going to approach this. I would really like to see if he could take Walker down, because we haven't really seen any of his ground game. But I really don't think it's going to happen. I see this fight ending in the first with Walker crushing Anderson early and ending it by KO. I think he's going to be going on to dethrone Jones. I think he's the one to take the belt from him. Jones is looking a little slow lately. Probably going to get a lot of hate for that, but I think it's going to happen. All right, so kicking off the main card, we have Gregor Gillespie versus Kevin Lee. Lee's on a 2-fight losing streak where he lost a decision to Al Iaquinta, and then most recently he was subbed by Rafael Dos Anjos in the 4th round. He's taken on a real tough, undefeated opponent in Gillespie, where he's finished the last 5 of his opponents. Gillespie has been a terror in the wrestling department, and he has the hands to match. He cuts distance with his combos really well and sets up takedowns. He executes them beautifully. He's always working to get the finish, and he grinds on his opponents bad. I think this is going to wear on Kevin Lee's gas tank a little bit. I know it's a 3-round fight, but Gillespie never seems to stop. That being said, Lee will be his toughest test yet. Lee is really no joke in the grappling department as well. He's an 80% takedown defense, average, and decent hands. The question is, will Gregor be able to take Lee down, or will this turn into a stand-up war? Here's what I think. I think Gillespie controls the wrestling to get the win. I feel like he does it better, and I think he is better on the feet, faster with better combos. In my opinion, he's on a different level. So I'm going to make a bold pick. I'm going to say he finishes Lee by submission, but I could very well see him go in the decision. Next on the card, you have Derek Lewis versus Blagoy Enov. Lewis is coming off a loss to Junior Dos Santos where he was stopped. JDS worked the body real well in that fight, and it seems to be Lewis's weakness. In the past, that seemed to be like his attack his tummy and you get the win. But he's really always dangerous. He carries his one-punch KO power, even when he's tired, across 5 rounds, which is pretty impressive. Enov is going to be the smaller man here. I think he's going to have some problems on the feet because he's going to be smaller. If he decides to try and take it to the mat, I just think Lewis might be a little too strong and big for him to control. He's kind of a stationary fighter on the feet. He uses his head movements and things like that, but he doesn't move enough, in my opinion, to not get hit by one of Lewis's big shots especially when he explodes in the exchanges. He worked the body somewhat when he fought Tai Tuivasa, and that would be his ticket, I think, here to slow Lewis down and maybe get a takedown and try to sub or move his way to outpoint Lewis and win that way, like a decision. But I don't think he will be able to without paying the price. My pick here is Derek Lewis to take it by knockout. Next on the card, we have Stephen Thompson versus Vicente Luque. This is Thompson's first fight back after getting knocked dead from Anthony Pettis, and I'm curious to see how that affected him. He seemed to be more aggressive in that fight, and I was really liking what I was seeing from him until he got knocked out. I hope he keeps his aggressiveness, but I feel like something like that might cause him to be more cautious. He's definitely a puzzle that many fighters have trouble cracking. If he point fights, he's extremely hard to touch. His counterattack ability is the way he uses his range is probably the best in the 170-pound division. Luque's coming off a decision win against Mike Perry, which I actually thought that he lost. I just watched the fight again yesterday. He finished a lot of his opponents before that on a 6-fight win streak. If you count the Perry fight, he does have power. He's pretty explosive. Depending on how cracked Thompson's chin is, he might be able to put him to sleep if he can connect. But that's a big if. In my opinion, Luque takes too much damage to give damage. I don't think he's as crafty as Pettis on the feet, and I doubt it will be a repeat of that with Luque. So my pick here is Thompson to take it. If he's aggressive, I can actually see him knocking Luque out, but will more likely be a decision. All right, guys, here we are at the co-main event. Darren Till versus Kelvin Gastelum. Till's taking a crack at moving up in weight after losing 2 in a row. Won the former champ, Tyron Woodley, where he got dropped and subbed. And as of most recently, where Jorge Masvidal stiffed him in 2 rounds. At this point, Till seems to be pretty predictable. He straight left, jab, he backs straight up, virtually no head movement whatsoever. His ground game is nowhere near what Kelvin's will be. UFC is really giving him no favors with this fight. He does have a power in that long straight left, but it is too one-dimensional, I think. Like Kelvin has, and also like Kelvin has shown coming off the last fight with Israel Adesanya, he has one hell of a chin. Kelvin cut the distance well on a bigger man. He stayed off the center line, coming in and countered Stylebender nicely, even though he lost that fight by decision. It still shows why he would beat Till. Although big, Till is no Stylebender. I think he could beat him on the feet, on the ground, and on the ground by sub. I think once Kelvin makes a read on Till's left hand, he will be able to cut the distance and counter Till at will. I think he is too fast and moves too good off the center line while cutting distance for someone stationary like Till. He won't be there for that, for Till to land that straight left. I see Kelvin sending Till to the canvas by way of knockout, spoiling his 185-pound debut. All right, so here we are, guys. The main event of the evening, Nate Diaz versus Jorge Masvidal. Let's get started. I just want to start off by saying I'm a fan of both these fighters, and in a way, I don't want to see either one of them lose. But unfortunately, we all know that's not possible. Diaz is coming off this fight with a decision win over Anthony Pettis after not fighting for 3 years. He beat Pettis with his volume and pressure and his excellent grappling control, which drained Pettis' gas tank. Diaz is very unorthodox on the feet, but he has to take some shots. He takes some shots and relies on his excellent chin while they are still fresh. The more drained his opponents get, the more he lands punches and looks better as the fight goes on. He just doesn't stop. In this fight, he will definitely have the advantage in the grappling department, I think. But I'm not sure if he can sub Masvidal. Masvidal did manage to survive 3 rounds with grappling with Demian Maia. Even though he lost that fight, he didn't get subbed. He showed some decent takedown defense when he wasn't worn out. Gamebred is coming off 2 knockout wins, one of Darren Till, one of Ben Askren. In the Till fight, he showed to have 1-punch knockout power. He is in his prime. He looks better than ever. Every time we see him, he looks better. This is a little bit of a hard one to call. I could see Diaz surviving early, taking Masvidal deep and winning a decision. Losing the early rounds, but coming on from the third. I could see Diaz wearing out Masvidal and getting the sub late. Or I could see Masvidal testing Diaz's chin, catching him, and ultimately knocking Diaz out in one of Diaz's early, sloppier exchanges. I could also see Diaz surviving Masvidal, and then just Masvidal just outstriking him, beating him in the 5-round fight. But here's my pick. I think Masvidal gets it done. I think Diaz is not the same after his layoff. Although he beat Pettis, he's pretty much tailor-made style for him. To beat Pettis, you just got to smother him and kill his gas tank. I think Masvidal is too fast, too sharp. I think he'll catch Diaz early, knocking him out, or allowing him to take control of the fight. My pick is Masvidal by KO, although I could see him winning a decision as well. So that's it, guys. That's my UFC 244 predictions. Hope you guys enjoyed my predictions. At the end of the video, I figured I would add like a little bit of the undercard, just do quick predictions on them. Julio Ars versus Dawadadu. I think Dawadadu is a better striker. He's going to take it by decision. I think he could very well catch Ars. He takes a lot of damage. So, but I'm going to go Dawadadu by decision. Lyman Good versus Chance Rencountry. Rencountry is a real good wrestler. This all kind of comes down to how Lyman Good's going to stuff the takedowns. If Rencountry is going to take his shots, like what's going to happen there. I think if Lyman does get taken down, he's going to be able to get to his feet, though. I do think Lyman Good is going to catch him coming in, and I think he's going to finish it. I got Lyman Good by knockout. Caitlin Kukhagen versus Jennifer Maia. I'm going to go Kukhagen by decision. I think she's sharper on the feet, although I suck at predicting women fights. Andre Arlovski versus Jair whatever the fuck his name is. I'm going to say Jair wins by KO. Arlovski is approaching the end of his long career in his 40s. It's only a matter of time. He might be able to use his experience to grind out a decision, but I highly doubt it. I think he's going to get clipped in one of the exchanges. Brad Tavares versus Edmund Shablazian. This is a tough fight to call. I could see Brad Tavares using his experience to win this fight. But ultimately, I'm going to pick the younger guy in Shablazian. I'm going to go with, I think he's going to win by decision. I think Tavares is good enough to be able to survive. But he does have the tools. Shablazian does have the tools to end the fight. But I'm gonna still stick with the decision. Then we got Shane Burgos versus Makwan Amirkhani. Burgos has looked really good, pretty decent in the Swanson fight. Although he gets tagged sometimes, he's not a bad counterpuncher. And his jiu-jitsu isn't really that bad. I think there's going to be a really big gap in the stand-up here. I think Burgos is a lot better puncher than Amirkhani is. I think Amirkhani will be able to control him in the wrestling department, but I don't think by enough to like really grind out a decision win. I'm gonna go with Burgos by decision. I just think he's gonna be able to get it done. I actually think he might be able to finish Amirkhani because his chin's kind of a little suspect, as you saw that with Jason Knight. He got dropped twice, but I think if Burgos drops Amirkhani, he'll be able to take him out. All right, guys, that wraps up my UFC 244 predictions. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and you have been watching Fighter Focus.